All right, I'm going to crank on some music. The way
I think everybody would.
Yeah, crank up your speakers as loud as you can, your headphones as loud as you can, because I want the music to hit you guys. Because when the sound hits you and you're breathing the right way, we start to rearrange ourselves quickly. And what you guys are going to feel is you're going to feel the tingling, you're going to feel the numbness in your hands, all the stuff, because we're building DMT, we're building serotonin levels, we're boosting dopamine levels, balancing our CO2 and our O2. And we are building nitric oxide, which gets the medicine. We're talking about blood flow in the bones, blood flow, erectile dysfunction. All this can be cured with the breath. So it's through the nose, out the mouth only. And it's no stop at the top, no stop at the bottom. I'll show you real quick. As long as you can do that, I know. I see Jamie getting anxious already. So I'm going to start the music and we're going to breathe together. So I'm going to get in trouble here in this apartment if I crank it up too long. So it's up through the nose, out the mouth. Fill your belly up. Go. Get energetic with it. Keep going. Close your eyes. Whoa. Make a noise on the way out. So you hear it. Hear your heartbeat. Feel it. So my ears are getting red. My face is lighting up. People ask, how can I do this for an hour and a half? You're going to fall in and out of this rhythm. Slow your breath down a little bit, longer draws in now. Come back to center. Anybody's arms tingling, anybody's hands lighten up?
Yep.
I have tears rolling from my face again.
Oh, I love you so much. So when we do that, guys, for a long time, we're the medicine. And it's powerful medicine as we build that dopamine, we build that serotonin, we're reconnecting the brain and the nervous system. And throughout the hour 10, hour and a half playlist, you'll come in and out of that breath. I've only had about 4 people be able to breathe like that the entire playlist. And one of them was a 67-year-old man who said it was the most powerful experiences of his life. And I've had people's hands get activated. They get a hold of me 6 months later and say, my hands are still buzzing. I've had my barber, my plantar fasciitis is gone. My foot pain after one session has disappeared. Like I said, 40 years of chronic body pain gone in a 3-day retreat. Pulmonary. I know. Hi, Jamie. Oh, I want to give you a big hug. So we have all those emotions trapped and stored on a cellular level in ourselves, and the breath knows the way home. And it'll take you to those deep, dark places in the corners of your closet where you dare not look. And we'll exercise that stuff, and we'll talk about our abuses, our abandonments, our traumas, all the PTSD. When you're alone in a room and the walls, creep in on you because you're afraid, we'll release all that stuff at my retreats and in my breathwork journeys. One of the women last night's going to give me a testimonial that, there's the stuff that goes on in life, and there's trauma that she has right now, and she wants to get rid of it. And it's powerful work when you, Jamie, I just want to give you a big hug.
Patient-reported outcomes. It's a patient-reported outcomes. Yeah,
I've got so many of them from past, and then I'm really wanting to get, to research what's from here forward and really start documenting more and more. I mean, I have, Jim, you okay?
I don't know.
He said yesterday when he did this, it was a whole new level of high.
Yeah.
That's a lot from Jim.
I was holding it all day.
No, I
Oxygen.
have a pretty good buzz. Yeah.
I've had this lingering neuropathy in my fingers from this blood poisoning episode I had, and I can like feel my fingers.
Wow.
Our blood vessels constrict, and most people go through their whole lives and they don't breathe. And they short breathe or shallow breathe. When we breathe that way, what you're feeling right now as we activate that is there's new blood flow going through your body because of the nitrous oxide. And you guys were killing it. So a lot of people will come into my breath. I had people last night, they just weren't really going for it. They weren't surrendering. So I have to help them, and I have to move energy quicker on them, and I have to get in their ear, breathe with me. And I get them pick it back up because the medicine is in
the basic laziness, right?
Well, it's called breath work. So if you're not going to work at it, you don't keep your expectations very high because and then what normally happens, like when we start these retreats, is the first session, everybody's kind of, subdued. They're worried that everybody's looking at them, the whole programming of their life. I don't want to look silly or anything. And by breath work 2 and 3, their clothes are coming off and they're screaming like banshees, and all the trauma's coming up, and they're talking in tongues. And some of them just start spontaneously laughing uncontrollably. So in my containers, it's a container of non-judgment. So the suppression of your expression leads to your depression. Most people have their full expression that God gave them suppressed because society does that from birth. Our government, our religion, our culture, it steals that from us. It steals our true purpose because they don't want us, the dark forces, they do not want us to know how powerful we are. And I've watched people I've got testimonials from doctors, everyday people, lawyers, that it blows them apart and they see life in a new way. The veil gets lifted. They go home and their relationship with their wives and their children's changed because they have a new sense of awareness of who they are and what's real in this world and why we're really here. And it's not, I've had all the stuff, I've owned over 350 residential and commercial homes back in my real estate career. And I've left all that behind. I live in a studio in Santa Monica. I have very few possessions. And I've let all that go because my job is to help serve humanity right now and balance the feminine and masculine energy on the planet. That was a message that was sent clearly to me by my guides. So that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life. Make money, don't make money. That's what I'm doing. So whether it's through breath work or the books that I've written or the retreats that I run or being on stage in front of people and talking, the message is coming through. So I'm excited, for that.
We need to work on the program we're doing, Fecal Playbook. We want to help people get into homeostasis, and put themselves into a position where they understand their body and they understand that their body is in charge. And we'd love to be able to do something with you on a kind of what we just did right now in terms of how good I felt just after yesterday's session.
I have fought putting this online. People have asked me to do breathwork sessions online for the last 3 years. And what I do physically by moving the energy on people with my hands, because there's magic in the heart coming through the hands, and people say it all the time. I'll touch them and they'll just blow into tears, or I'll touch them and their whole body will start vibrating and with my fingers, and they'll swear to God I use tuning forks, and I'm like, no, those were my fingers. And so I've fought going online with this but what I witnessed, you guys were my first. I've never done that before with people. And what I just experienced with you guys is changing my attitude towards it. And I think,
I have to say, I think like I'm a really controlled person. This is hard for me.
Sure, of course.
Partially because my boss over these last couple of days, we've had these really powerful sessions and he's been so unguarded and vulnerable. And I think it's made the rest of us feel, even a control freak like me, a lot more like ready to let go. So thank you.
Vulnerability is the medicine. And when I get, whether it's 8-10 men or 8-10 women, and they feel like they're in a safe place, then I got tears in my eyes right now because I know what happens. I've held women and men that are just sobbing in my arms when they finally let go. And that is it. What are we holding on to so damn tight? Let's take a breath. I have people do that all the time. Practice, grab and hold whatever you think you need to control and let it go. because we can't take any of this with us when we die, guys. None of this shit matters. What we see with our eyes is an illusion. We're here on it. We made a soul contract to come here during this time right now. And if we die without doing the work that we're meant to do, then we have to come back and do it again. And I'm not coming back. I'm done with this hellhole. I'm up and out. I'm through the veil.
You.
Well, yeah, but I can't give you my light, but I can take you home inward and show you, look, there's your light right there. Now, do you have the courage to walk that? Do you have the courage in the face of all adversity to now walk your truth that the Creator gave you, and don't give a shit what anybody thinks about you? Because I don't have any friends in my life from before my awakening. My awakening happened 4 years ago. Really, I don't have anybody, friends, no, blood, no difference. Because I just stopped contacting people. And then I found out who my real family was, because they just didn't contact me back either. So when they kind of follow the path that I've gone on, and they're like, they don't get it. So I'm meant to work with those like you guys that are ready. You guys, you feel it, you see it, and you're ready to do the work, and you're ready to come home. And that's a place deep within. And we just got to get through enough layers to where you have that moment where you go look in the mirror and you just start sobbing because you finally see yourself. You get through all the pain and the shame of your childhood and the past life stuff. And you just like, shit, I've been loving from an empty damn cup my whole life because I didn't love myself yet. And this is all about self-love. All of this is about self-love. All of this is about how much do I love myself, because that is the measure of my ability to love everybody on the planet. That's why we're here.
When I do my worst and I'm not loving myself, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, why the hell don't you love yourself? You're a great damn human being, Tim.
But there's certain times when I don't, man. So
I got you. I got you, man. We're gonna bring that shit home.
I get it. No, I think in what you're talking about and being able to create, we're a resource company. We're all about giving people resources, and this is a beautiful resource that we would think it'd be a waste to not introduce people to. And really, what I see is a 3 to 5 minute session with intention of expanding it for the future. It's like, what's next? And it would be a great intro for what Jack does with his people, because it teaches them got to buy in, man. It's like 100%.
Well, you guys, that's kind of an initial root chakra work that we do right there in that little 3 minutes. And then the magic is, as the music changes, then the music and the frequency goes up to the sacral next. And then the music changes, and as I create the plays and they fade in and out, then it comes up to the solar plex, and then it comes up to the heart, then the throat with a couple of songs with some powerful singing in it. Then it comes up to third eye, and then you're up and out, and then you're just floating for like the last 20 minutes of the breathwork journey. So I want to do like a 7 minute on root only, then a 7 minute on sacral, and I want people to get up and move, because some of these songs are going to make you want to dance. They're going to make you want to get up and move. We have to move our bodies. We have to move. So important to move. Some people will be stoic and they'll lay there flat the whole time. Like, get your ass up. Move that
That's
energy.
why I wanted to come outside after yesterday, because I felt constricted inside when we did the exercise.
Yeah, we need to be out in nature more. And, I've done this outside before with people with Bluetooth headsets on, where I had a set on too, and I'm following along. It's different because when we're in a bigger group, if you guys come to the women's retreat, you'll see some of the women will start activating and yelling and screaming, and it'll give everybody else permission to let go. And it's the whole frequency thing that happens within the group. And the music's vibrating through your body, because I have 2 of these Bose L1 Pros going across, shooting across at you. And that frequency and the bass starts really rearranging you. The headphones are good. I did them at an outside fair one time, and everybody had a great experience. It was really cool because I've got 17 people at an outside fair. Some of them are kind of going crazy, and nobody on the outside can hear what's going on. So they just see silence. And these people have been activated, and this crazy guy walking around moving energy on their bodies. And there's all these booths going on. People are selling stuff. But it was
Do you
really
consider
cool.
it Reiki, what you're doing? Like, is it like Reiki whenever no, it's different.
I'm hands-on. I mean, Reiki, no Reiki. I mean, I had the woman last night, a couple of women last night were Reiki masters, and I'm not a master of anything. I'm just, I'm in the school of self-mastery. I just know that I have the ability to push my heart through my hands And when I come in and touch someone's and put my hand on their heart and I hold it there and I start moving it in a slow circular level, you can see them take off. You can see sometimes their tears just explode at that moment. They needed you to put your hand on their heart. And I'll touch a third eye and a heart and hold it there. And then I'll leave and they'll never know I left. They'll never know I was gone, because I teach people how to touch, when to touch, why to touch, where to touch, when to come in, why to come in, how to leave, when to leave, when you're moving, because you don't just come in and just touch someone. You access your heart through your hands, and then you come in and lovingly grab their feet and start moving their energy with their breath. And then you do the same thing when you're moving energy on their sacral area. And you air high so you don't get offensive, and then you get a quick feel for the top of the pelvic bone, and then you move that energy up, and then you go to the solar plexus. And I have one of the modules in my online course. I have somebody, and I show all of this on my course, on the Activation Breathwork course that's online. It's in my link tree in my bio on Instagram and Facebook. But I show everything I do, because a lot of these breathwork people, they just have breathwork stuff where they're taking you through breathwork journeys. This is I teach you everything I do. I teach you how to tap into your story, because that's all you have. That is our wisdom. My wisdom is not something I was taught by anybody else. My wisdom is grounded and rooted in my trauma, my abuse, my abandonments, my neglects. And the next book I got coming out, that's going to be out in a few weeks, is The Gifts of Desperation, A Journey Back to Me. That is me telling you a thought, an expansion of the thought, and then a daily affirmation at the bottom of each one, and how the affirmations are how I'm holding my boundaries and how I'm setting my boundaries for the day. And what really affects you is when we teach to set the boundary. Okay, I love myself, so I'm going to set this boundary. I just came out of a narcissistic relationship, so I'm going to set this boundary. I'm not dating a narcissist again, right? And then holding the boundary is how I prove it to my inner child. So my inner child only feels safe based on the choices that I make in my life. So I lose the ability to have fun and play when I open that door and swing that boundary open, and I allow toxicity into my life.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Alton, you're a stud. I personally am going to see my grandkids. Do not stop this party. You guys end it when you want to.
I have another question I really want to
love you, Jim. We'll talk later. I'll see you later.
First of all, I mean, you're obviously doing a lot more than breath. I've tried those activities before. One question I really wanted to ask you yesterday is you talk about a lot about Kundalini, which makes perfect sense because it's a great visualization of like movement of energy, but breath work goes through so many other cultural traditions, like
it's everywhere.
All of them. So do you, like in your longer form sessions, do you pull from some of those other traditions?
I only know what I do is I change the speed of the breath. Like you'll go on my Instagram, you'll see some of my videos that I've got where we're doing these, there's no music. I'm out at the beach, I'm just pulling the energy up with the breath as slow as I can. Sometimes I can take a minute to get a breath all the way to the top. I open that crown, and then without a stop, it's through the nose, out of the mouth. We regulate the CO2 and the O2 in our bodies properly. And it's really slow. I mean, super slow. It takes practice because you have to work on your muscles. You have to start.
Right.
I know, right? I know. So you really have to. It's a practice to do that, to really get present with yourself, because you're getting what you're doing when you're pulling that energy up is you are accessing the deep, dark traumas of your body, and they're protected. You're protecting them. It's just like the wife that's protecting the narcissistic husband. She's like, oh, he's not that bad. But he came back around and said he's going to be nice this time and good to me this time, right? So we're trying to treat our traumas and our stuff in our body the same way. We don't want to reveal them because they're too painful if we really let them all out. So we do all kinds of. That's why. But in the retreats, we do breath work, and I'm moving energy on you, but we're also painting. I have live musicians come in the house. We write a lot. We stand at the fire and do cord cutting with all of our stuff from our past that's not serving us, including ourselves. So we do a writing process where we write down when my dad beat and raped my mother in front of me, or when my dad locked me in vans, or when my dad told me I was a piece of shit and would never amount to anything. And then I write down all the stuff that I did myself. So I have this long list, and we stand at the fire and we grab that moment from the dark and we pull it up, and we grab as much of our own light and we shine it on it. And then we give gratitude for that at that moment. And we say, thank you for getting me to this point in my life, but I don't need you anymore. Now fuck off. And we crumple it, we blow it away, and we cut that cord of energy with that moment. Not just my dad, if it's 100 things, you go through that process for each one. And you cut that cord of energy and you pull that back in, and you become powerful again. And that's about what Jack was talking about, is pulling our power back within.
I call that the anchor rope.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So we all as a group,
Love
we
that.
take all that when we're done, and I have a cauldron at the house, and we throw it all together in a cauldron, and we go outside and we light it and we burn it. And then that sits there all weekend. And at this 6.5 acres that I do this retreat on, there's a pond out front. The very last thing we do on Monday before we dispatch is we all take that down to the pond, and we all reach in the cauldron and grab some of the ashes that are mixed with all of our traumas, and we hold it to our chest, and we give gratitude for it, and we throw it in the pond, and we dump the rest of the ashes in. And at that moment, we leave our baggage on the land. And I've had people go home and lose 15 pounds in 10 days because they now love themselves enough to change their diet, to get some exercise, to stop doing the destructive things. And the trauma is being released. So that is a cellular rearrangement as well. Like I said, my last women's retreat in June, one of the women went home on Monday and asked for a divorce. So we
Probably needed one.
She did. A lot was revealed within weeks after asking for that divorce, what he was really doing on the backside, that she energetically knew. She knew, she knew that this man was toxic and not serving her or her children. And he was a 12-year marriage, and she's a dear sister of mine now. We communicate all the time, and she's going through this process. And, it's ugly, it's hard, and it's difficult. She's defying her cult, her culture that she'd created with this man. So to break the chains of that stuff and to become more powerful. And what I also guide people on is how to find your essence. That's why that's why this is the gifts of desperation, a journey back to me. ME is capitalized for my essence, because you're born with it. And this world, this society, and this patriarchal system, and this debt society that keeps you enslaved to the house payment, to the property tax payment, to the home insurance payment, to the credit card debt, to the medical insurance payments, debt. I got to make more money, which puts more money in the corporate coffers. And we got to break that system. And the system's breaking right now, and we have to let it fall. You can't fix this. So what we have to do as individuals, and what I teach people is, it's time to get sovereign. It's time to really figure out who the hell you are and why you're here, because you have a purpose right now. And if you just fall in line with the masses and just try to make as much money and keep hold of all your stuff, then that stuff is going to choke you out. And so we have to let go of things that are possessing us, that are taking up our precious time. Like I had a boat one time. God dang, man. I was a slave to that boat, It always broke down. I always had to put it on the trailer and haul it over to the boat guy, and it broke a prop, It's like that was possessed me. So I don't own boats anymore. I don't own quads anymore. I don't own stuff, I could pack everything I own in probably about 2 hours, So I really turned into a minimalist, and I've had millions. I've had all the $1 million homes. I've had all that stuff, and none of that stuff ever made me happy. It wasn't until we did
It doesn't buy happiness. It doesn't
can't.
buy your health.
It doesn't.
Money doesn't buy anything. It's just aggravation. That's all it is.
There's a little book Sri Aurobindo wrote called The Mother, and it's a short book. You can get it for like $4 on Amazon. And he works through the Divine Mother, and then she teaches about money. And it's not that having money is the problem; it's the attachment to the money that's the problem. So when we have money and we share the money with the world, and we're of service to the planet, the money will keep replenishing itself over and over and over. It'll keep coming back around. But when we grab onto it and we have an attachment to it, and we give it the power of our happiness, then we're screwed. We're a slave to it. So I don't have much money in the bank these days, and I don't give a shit, because it's all coming back around again. It's all coming back in cycles. And I know when I look in the mirror at night, I'm a good damn human being, and I help a lot of people.
Exactly.
That's it. It's all that matters. You know, I'm my self-validator. I don't need anybody to tell me I'm valid or that I'm amazing.
No.
I just look in the mirror and tell myself I'm fucking amazing. I'm a really good human being. I didn't hurt anybody today.
Exactly.
You know, I helped today. I opened the door for someone today. And I was at the coffee shop this morning, and I don't know, I'm in a predominantly African-American neighborhood here in this Airbnb in Dallas. And I'm down here at this coffee shop, and it's owned by this gentleman named Clive. And I go in this morning, and I'm just like, I'm commenting. He was dressed to the nines. I said, damn, you look good, brother. He's like, thank you. And I comment on people, and I give them, you know, compliments. And then I asked for this croissant that I wanted with just bacon and egg on it. Oh, we don't serve that on Saturday mornings. And I was like, oh, do you know any other place I can get some breakfast? And Clive looks at me and goes, what is it you want? I said, I'd like a croissant with bacon and eggs on it like I had the other day. He goes, let me go check in the kitchen for you. He goes back in the kitchen. He goes, we're gonna make one for you. We don't have it on our computer right now to charge you. So you come back in on Monday and pay for it then. And that's how that's
what makes the world go round.
That's it. It's not rocket science, you know. And I'll go down there and I'll pay him for 2 of them on Monday, you know, just because he was. And I gave a bigger tip to his workers that were there, you know, working.
They'll remember that.
Of course they do. They can see the light in your eyes when your light's lit up. I have it all the time. I have people sit next to me. It's like, who are you? What the hell is going on with you? I said, I don't know. I want to sit down. Let's find out what this is.
People have a hard time accepting kindness.
They have a very hard time seeing people like you and I with our lights.
Yes, you know, they always figure there's some type of alternative mode.
What's the rub?
No, I just want you to feel what I'm feeling.
That's it. Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
It is.
And that doesn't cost anything to do that.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
You know, like you said, open the door and say, oh my goodness, you look nice today. Hey, what you got going on? Can you tell me, please? Man, you just glow like sunshine.
Yeah.
Okay? And that just makes that one. So now they'll stop, you know, and so now there's interaction. I mean, I look at it like this, you know, when I go for my walks in the morning, it's almost a crime for fucking people to fucking say hello.
I know, I get it.
Hey, I say good morning, hey, and they put their head down. It's like, what did I just do? All I said to you was good morning. Is your day already this bad? And it's only 5:45 in the morning.
It's the same way in Los Angeles. They're afraid. They think you want something from them just for saying hi.
Yes, it's just like but this is what society has done to us. It has separated us. It has put shoes on our feet, so we no longer feel the vibration and the energy that's coming from the planet.
Yeah,
they've disconnected us.
Yeah, you know, I really work with the men when I do my men's retreats. You know, on first thing I go into with them is porn. And I tell them, I said, you're never going to have an intimate relationship with a woman if you're watching porn. So we go into that and we go deep. And as soon as I can get one of them to admit and talk about it, then the rest of the room kind of opens up. That's an evil and corroding thread in this society. And what it does is it makes men predators, because they now want to go in the bedroom with their current, you know, and Jamie's relating to this one. I love you, honey. And they want to bring that into the bedroom with their spouse, and it's no longer love. It's no longer, they don't even know how to touch their spouse. They don't know how to be intimate. They have no idea what a real, true, loving tantric touch is that doesn't have to end with a penis going in a vagina. You know, they don't get it, you know. So the work I do is real deep. I mean, I exercise this shit out of these men, and I have them make commitments, and some of them falter when they go home. Of course, it's hard to get, you know, hold on to it. But, you know, so when I was in Cyprus, living on the island of Cyprus, very Greek Cypriot mentality, they've got, you know, years, generational female wounding from the male there. I mean, women just don't say hi to you. I walk around, I'm free. I don't want anything from anybody. I have control of my own energy. I move it up and down myself. I don't masturbate when I'm by myself. When I'm not in relationship or union, I don't need to have sex. But that took a long time to exercise that energy out because of all the sexual trauma I witnessed from my dad and my mother as a child, and the alcoholism. You know, Zach, you don't know, I've been sober 24 years this November, and I've never done a plant medicine in my life. So I'm super clean with what I do. And At my retreats, we do super healthy food. Everybody's super clean at my retreats. And I coach people, and I don't really coach them in nutrition. It's like, it's not rocket science. I get up, I open an avocado and I eat it with a spoon, and then I eat 3 hard-boiled eggs. Done. Over. There's no, prep work I got to do. I don't pound a lot of carbs. I don't pound a lot of sugars, and so I keep things just real simple. I had a croissant with bacon and eggs this morning. No cheese on it because dairy doesn't do well with me. But then I worked out. I killed it in the gym, and it's all about, eating right, exercise, and keeping your mind, body, spirit, and emotional body clean, and you got to clear that stuff out. God, Jamie, I just want to hold you and hug you right now. I see your emotions coming up. I love you, my sister. And
listen, I knew I was going to cry through Hope Fest. I did not think it was going to be this session.
I know, right?
I have had tears rolling down my face since we were breathing, but really heavily towards, the more you talk.
I'm able to get into people's wounds very quickly. I have people just on the street and then they'll start crying in front of me because they're really not used to being in front of somebody that's just present, that doesn't want anything from them, that, can really see them. And
that resonates with Jack. Hey, I wonder I know we're getting up on time, but I wonder if we could revisit what Jack just mentioned, because I think it's a really important thing. And this is something, we have another member of our team that's done a lot of work in India with adepts in India. And he's talked about how one of the key things for them to be able to do the work that they do is to have their bare feet on the ground.
I earth all the time. Yeah, it's called earthing. I call it earthing.
Yeah, can you guys say a little more about that?
Grounding.
Grounding or earthing.
Jack, how do you use that in your therapy?
Pardon me?
How do you use that in your therapy? Is that part of what you do?
Yeah, so I tell people, like, if anytime that you can, go take your shoes off.
Absolutely.
Just go stand there. And if you pay attention, if you're in the now, when you do that, you stand there, you literally feel, it feels like fingers coming up your legs. It's the energy that's being transferred from the earth, and you're transferring. So this energy exchange happens. And I even do it in the middle of the winter time when it's 30 below. There's a nice spot for me to stand. I take my shoes off and I stand there like that, and I'm focused in the moment, and I stand there for as long as I can stand the cold. And then I put my shoes back on and I feel fantastic. But it's like he said, being in the present. Nobody is in the present. Everybody is living in yesterday, and everybody is living in tomorrow. Yesterday's your memory, tomorrow's your imagination. It doesn't exist.
Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery.
It can't hurt you. Neither one of those days can hurt you.
No.
See, everybody has to be present, like right now, just like we are. We're all present right now.
Right.
We have nothing else going on other than what it is right now. And that's the most important, and like you said, we really don't do anything. We give the power back to you. You're the one who does all the work.
That's it.
We've had to do it. So we took the machete and we blazed the trail, and we just say, hey, just follow the sign. Right? Go do this. If you do this, odds are this is what's going to happen. Right? And then when it does happen, they go, oh my God. It wasn't no God-given moment. You did it.
God hit our secret in the place we would never look.
Absolutely. And I always
say
it like this. And if we all believe in that guy driving the big spaceship, he made us in his own image. So if you're looking for the creator, have a look at the person sitting beside you. Go talk to your neighbor.
Go look in the mirror.
Exactly. That's where the power exists, is inside here.
When you start loving yourself, and when you crack through all that stuff that's blocking you and stopping you from being everything you were meant to be, when you start loving yourself, you've seen the glass of water love written on it, and the cells change, right? Well, when your body knows you love it, it rearranges and it starts loving you back.
It responds.
It does.
It does.
Yeah. So that when I take women and men up on the top of the birthing cave in Sedona, we take our shoes off and we lay on a flat red rock with quartz crystal all in that rock. And then I drum them and I rattle them for about 45 minutes. And I take them into the womb. So I verbally put them back in the womb, and we do a rebirth. I rebirth them on the mountain, and the emotions that come out when we do that. And the reason we do it there is that really a birthing cave? They just call it the birthing cave because it looks like a womb. But it's really the energy we assign to it and our ability to let go and surrender and be present in the moment and let the healing memories of those mountains and the quartz crystals come through our bodies. You know, I mean, Tesla was the one that lit up the light bulbs through ground, you know, through the ground, you know.
Yes.
So in Peru, and I'm going to Peru in about 3 weeks, but in Peru, they call it a Saman Shakwe. So they don't believe in positive or negative energy. They believe in hucha. So they take all with feet off, with shoes off, and you push the hucha down through your body and push it down through your feet, and you give it to Pachamama. You give it to Mother Earth to alchemize. And then you reach up and you grab Sami energy, S-A-M-I, and you pull all that light, love energy down. And then you reach back down to this alchemized hucha and you pull it back up. And then you sit there and you bring it as the yin and the yang, in balanced feminine, masculine energy that the Mother Earth has just healed. And now you balance everything in the universe is order and balance. So when we're out of balance, we're here, or the feminine's here, the masculine's here, then we're not in balance with nature. We're not in balance with our own selves. And we're in this push-pull thing in our life, whether it's our relationships or with ourselves. So yeah, the grounding thing is huge. I go barefoot all the time. Yeah.
This has been so educational and so already releasing. Like, I cannot wait to dive more into breathwork and have more conversation. I know I'm going to be talking to you again, Ocean, after this event is over. I am super looking forward to that. I want to say thank you so much. I know you've come on here a couple of times with us. You have been a fantastic guest speaker. Don's still there in the background. Don, that was crazy educational too, and I appreciate you guys so much. We are about to wrap this session so that we can get ready for the next one. I never expected to experience what I experienced by just the breath work. So I know that it's going to impact me. I'm hoping that it is going to impact many of the cancer patients that we have, even all patients, not even just cancer patients, but especially the cancer patients that we have watching. Miranda, do you want to add anything before we close?
Well, I told you guys that I sat down with one of the medical directors with Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles, and they're wanting to, I think, peel off some money on a grant to do some real research behind this, based on all the healings that I've talked about that have happened in my breathwork journeys, especially the pulmonary aneurysm that disappeared in February for this woman. So yeah, we can heal ourselves.
Yep.
Oh man, that is
For the
a
medicines.
revolutionary thing to say, my friend.
Mhm.
No, I think I would just close in saying, like, on paper, these three modalities don't seem to be the same, but I think this session has really sort of shown me that it all comes down to the same thing. These are
Same thing.